Some of you made it to the housing symposium at St. Mary's on Monday, and the stark reality of homelessness in the city of Barrie and the county was clearly put before us. Every morning, you can go onto the county website and you can check how many people were unsheltered in any given night of the week. On average, in the county of Simcoe, there are over 2,000 people who sleep rough. The county has just over 200 beds for those who are unhoused. We are in the midst of the largest housing crisis we have ever seen, and attached to that is a mental health crisis that really dates back to the 1980s policies on forcing people out of institutional care and sheltered care. And added to that is an opioid crisis. Now, most of us think of somebody as somebody who's homeless, as somebody who's sitting in front of Trinity on a Tuesday morning, stoned out of their head, shouting at people. Most of us think that's a homeless person. The highest growth in homelessness is somebody over the age of 65. The growing sea of homeless people are pensioners. And the reason that growing sea exists is because there's a limit on how far you get on $800 or $900 a month, when the lowest you're going to pay for rental in this city at any rate is around $550 a month for a single room. We are sheltering somebody at Trinity at the moment who is being treated for cancer, who last Thursday lost his place, his room in a house, because the police arrived on Thursday morning and threw him and the person in the next room with their child out of the house because the landlord was a scam landlord. There's a criminal element to homelessness because the homeless become victims of people who take advantage of them. That is the reality of it. Whether those are drug lords or scammers in the housing market or people who are trading on peddlers, whatever you want, they're there. And our difficulty is we can criminalize the homeless by mistake. We can assume that those who are homeless are criminals themselves in being homeless. Last Friday, that gentleman who's being treated for cancer at RVH slept under a tree. He's in his late 50s, early 60s. And he came to us at Trinity, and we offered him care and shelter while we found a place for him to live. On Friday, we phoned every agency we could find with no success. On Tuesday, we repeated the exercise with no success. If you're homeless with children, you're given a coupon that allows you to stay in a hotel or a motel for 3 days, and then you become homeless again. If you are single and elderly, you get sent to Collingwood, where they might have a bed for you. If you're among the great unwashed, you will be told by the Busby Centre or the Sally Army to come back at 11 o'clock at night and see if they have a bed vacant. That man stood in the line last Thursday night until 12 o'clock in the great sea of the unwashed and was told that they couldn't accommodate him. Now, it's not that they were being mean, they just don't have the space. For those of you, like myself, who live in rural communities, you will notice a change. When I drive up and down Highway 27, each morning, each evening, I see a growing number of people walking from Barrie down the highway or back up to the city with their belongings in hand. For those of you who live in Midhurst, you will know there's a growing number of campments in Midhurst. For those of you who live in 𝗱𝗲𝗄𝗆, you will notice the increasing number of homeless people sheltering behind commercial buildings in vacant lots. Why? because they're not welcome in the city. Last Wednesday, this city introduced a bylaw. That bylaw makes it illegal for you, Joe Public, to feed somebody, to give them water, and offer them any medical care in public space. Now, there's a wherefore in that little thing, a little shift, where you can get permission from the city to help somebody on the street if you're in a city-funded project or in a recognizable charity. But for you, Joe Public, that could involve a fine of up to $5,000 for you giving somebody a sandwich or a bottle of water. Those of us who are leaders in this religious community have been involved in the debate with the mayor for a long time now. This bylaw came out 3 years ago, went back to council, and has been brought back in again. There was no public announcement prior to it being announced, other than on the Tuesday before. And on the Wednesday, it passed 3 readings in one council meeting, signed unanimously by all of our city councillors, without debate, without contribution, without any opportunity for you, Joe Public, to say anything. So we're organizing something. It's called Loaves and Fishes. It was my idea. Jesus at no point ever asked a Roman authority for permission to feed 5,000 people on a hill or a beach. Jesus at no opportunity ever asked a Jewish religious official whether he could heal somebody on the Sabbath in a public space. Compassion is not constrained by permission of those in authority. Compassion is our duty of care to everybody, under all circumstances, everywhere. Compassion is not something that can be legalized or made illegal in any shape or form. It's as simple as it gets. I do not like encampments any more than anybody else in this city. I do not like the idea that somebody who's in psychiatric distress lives in a park. I do not agree with the distribution of narcotics in any shape or form. Those of you who come past Trinity will know that. If somebody is taking narcotics on our property, they will be asked to move and refrain. This is not an endorsement of some extreme. This is a plea that we, as normal citizens of faith, just simply demonstrate that our compassion cannot be made illegal. That's it. That's all we're doing. Next Sunday at 2 o'clock, we will be gathering at the Spirit Catcher, and I'm asking you to do something. I'm asking you to arrive with a piece of food in a container, sealed food, packet of chips, chocolate bar, and a refreshment, bottle of water, a Coke, you like. And I'm going to ask you to give it to somebody else. You simply giving it to somebody else is an infringement of the Bible. That's it. The city has chosen to make you a criminal next Sunday by you giving somebody food and water. We're doing it not because we want to get up somebody's nose for the sake of getting up somebody's nose, but we're in a place of desperate plea. That's where we are. There are literally thousands of people who depend upon our care and compassion. And for us to be told that our care and compassion is illegal is unacceptable. There will be no speeches on that day. There will be no grandstanding. All we're going to do is break the Bible as an act of defiance. This has been posted on Facebook. Please share it as much as you can. The intention is simply to make it plain to this city that we, as people of faith, There's a statement from the Old Testament, the Hebrew Scriptures, a statement from the Greek Testament, and a statement from the Quran on the back, because we share that compassion together. The willingness to just simply love those who others will not love. If you want to have a conversation with me, please do. You're more than welcome to do that from there. But I would encourage you to come out on the day. In today's newspaper, yesterday's newspaper, Saturday's Star, sorry, there's an article called Clash on Charles Street. The other thing that's beginning to happen more and more in our cities, not just in Toronto but also in 𝗠𝘆𝗆, is where religious organizations who do feed the poor on their own private property are now being sued. So the sanctuary in Toronto, which is a very established sanctuary that has been helping the homeless for a very long time and is a model of care, is now being sued by a condo developer. The same thing is happening to the United Church. The United Church in 𝗠𝘆𝗆 is being sued for caring for those who are homeless, based upon the criminalization of people who are homeless. Father Larry and Reverend Susan and myself met on Tuesday. Susan Eagle is the incumbent of Grace Church United. We met on Tuesday to talk through what's happening. One of the things we recognize is that there are other cities who are looking to Barrie to pass similar bylaw and legislation. The other thing that is beginning to happen is more and more of us are being sued. So you can say to me, well, we can do it on our property, but wait for somebody to sue us. Wait for somebody to sue us. You can do something. You really can. You can express your displeasure to the city council and letters to the mayor, and all those things you can do. What I'm doing is I'm tired of talking to the mayor. I'm tired of being shouted at. I'm tired of being insulted. I'm tired of sitting through meetings for hours and hours and hours where he's belligerent and horrible and nasty and insulting to us. And so I've given up on that conversation. And so for me personally, I'm organizing acts of defiance. That's what I'm doing. If you have greater access to the mayor, use it. Honestly, use it. Because we're living in a very strange time. It's hard to believe I'm living in Canada at the moment. I'm going to end there.